Hello, Iris J here with Madrona's Pulse Teachings, Astrology for Healing. I hope this finds you doing well. I am making this and we are on the cusp of the Sagittarius New Moon. I want to talk with you about that new moon, especially more so focusing on the Mercury Retrograde that this new moon is carrying us into. If you tune in regularly to my channel, hello, it's nice to see you. If you're new, hello, it's nice to meet you. I am Iris. I talk about astrology, spirituality, healing, earth-based consciousness, earth-based rhythms and cycles, weaving it all together. Please do subscribe to my channel if this is your first time. And let's talk about these energies. So first things first, especially if you're new to my channel, I do not work with a kind of pop astrology lens that Mercury retrograde is doomsday or suddenly everything is bad in the world. That's not the archetype of the energy. When we're working with retrogrades that are transiting, it is asking us to usually slow down and then respect and be mindful of what the energy is speaking to us about. So this is Mercury, communication, ways of thinking, expressing ourselves. And it is going retrograde in Capricorn and Sagittarius. But first, we got a new moon. So I do have a video that is much more expansive in terms of the energies of this new moon. That is down below. I just want to run through some of the themes. That being that it is happening on December 12th, depending where you are. Here it's around 6:30 in the evening, and it is happening around 20 degrees of Sagittarius. So it is a great idea to see where this falls in your chart, especially that kind of last decan of Sagittarius and the first decan of Capricorn, because that's where our Mercury is working as well. And if you don't have your chart or you're super new to astrology, that is totally okay. You just listen to the energies and feel into what you feel into. But this new moon, so the reason this new moon is so interesting is because it's happening, and then on the just on the tides of this new moon, Mercury goes retrograde. So a new moon is when the moon and the sun are together, and they're together in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is adventuring energy. It is very spirited, optimistic energy, and this is really opening us up to new projects, new beginnings, potentially. New ideas that we want to explore in our life. In the greater cycles that this new moon is happening within, it very much could be some very new energies that are coming into our lives, and or something could be closing out. Okay, and I say that because Mercury is here and it's going retrograde. And what's really important about this new moon is that it is squaring Neptune. So Neptune is direct now. It is in Pisces. And that Neptunian energy, which is everything beyond the day-to-day, which is dreamscapes, which is ultimately the dissolving of our ego and becoming one with spirit and source, and also just ways of being and ways of expressing that we have traditionally not made room for in everyday normalized, socialized, westernized society. I'm just gonna have a sip of my coffee. It's my first coffee of the day that I'm sharing with you folks. And this Neptunian energy is here, and it is squaring that Sagittarius new moon. And so whatever is coming up for us in these Sagittarius realms of our lives wants to be infused, most likely insists on being infused with this otherworldly spiritualizing energy. Whatever spirituality means for you, means different things for all of us, because spirituality is about our embodied way of being, in tune with, fill in the blank, divine mystery, earth-based consciousness, ultimate consciousness as oneness, God consciousness. There's many different ways of articulating these experiences that we have. But this energy wants to come into our lives. And this is energy and ways of being and ways of making meaning that society traditionally has not had room for, that mainstream society most often does not have room for. It is not surface level spiritual bypassing, which does show up in pop culture, especially social media. Neptune is not spiritual bypassing. If you don't know what that word means, that is when something potentially kind of intense is coming up, or we're faced with a complicated situation, and we kind of lean into a rhetoric of, well, it's meant to be, and we don't go under the surface. Not to say that it's meant to be, is it's meant to be, that might be something that comes up. But when we use spiritual bypassing, it is using the rhetoric of spirituality often, especially when we're talking outside of kind of traditional religion, and not doing the work on ourselves, not doing the work that spirit is presenting us with in the co-mingling and synchronicities of life coming together, in the co-creative process that we are here to evolve with and work with. Self-inquiry, growth, evolution. It's not designed to be simple. It is designed to be complex, because that is part of why we come into this human experience. And Neptune teaches us so much about these journeys in a way that doesn't align to 1 + 1 = 2, in a way that doesn't align to, oh, I feel this, therefore I need this, and then I will be fixed and I will be better. That's a curative model of Western biomedical psychotherapy, psychiatry. Neptune, no. Neptune's, you gotta go on a dark night of the soul, and you gotta see all these layers, and you might not understand them all, but then it's gonna emerge, and then you're gonna have a blissful moment of oneness, and then it's not gonna make sense. This is in Neptune realms. And that's in this new moon in Sagittarius, who wants to make sense, who wants to weave this magical understanding of why we're here, or what I'm here to do. And so especially if you're someone that's been sitting on the cusp of like, I want to have a coaching business, or I want to do this, or it is such a wonderful season that we're coming into, because we're also coming into solstice in the northern hemisphere, winter solstice, southern hemisphere, summer solstice. But it's a wonderful season to sign up for something that's going to teach you some new skills, sign up for something that's going to give you support to find the self-wisdom and confidence that you want to explore. This is Sagittarius realms. It is a time to explore something new. And I talked a lot about this in that other new moon video. And Neptunian vibes want to be here. And then about 12 hours or so later, a little less than that, our Mercury stations retrograde. So Mercury's in Capricorn, and it's gonna move through Capricorn, and then it's going to go into Sagittarius. I'm trying to look for the date when it's going into Sagittarius, but my notes are a total scribble down here. But I do want to talk to you also about some really important things that's going to happen with that Mercury retrograde. And so on the one hand, we're pulled into this new energy, which is a new moon, which is planting seeds in our psyche and rituals and coming into a new phase. And then Mercury goes retrograde. And so when Mercury goes retrograde, this is a time of slowing down, noting this is happening during the traditional holiday season. There's a lot of energy suggesting this holiday season wants to slow down and actually have some potentially very illuminating introspective moments, which sometimes we have to cultivate quiet for, which isn't traditionally what we're socialized to do during December into the new year. And so Mercury in Capricorn knows how to work. It knows how to accomplish things. It knows how to get things done, whatever that is aligned with. That could be aligned with a dreamy project that we have, or that could be aligned with your everyday work. But Mercury in Capricorn knows how to get things done. And there could be this rhythm that said we've been with Mercury in shadow for a little while, and now it goes retrograde with this new moon, and it's pulling us back in. There's something that needs to be revisited in that Capricorn area of our chart. And then in the Sagittarius area of our chart. So let me just give you these dates that I want to give you. So Mercury is going to move what appears to be backwards through Capricorn. And on the 22nd of December, just after solstice, the sun has just come into Capricorn. It has just started its new season in Capricorn, and we have come through we're still on the 22nd coming through that solstice threshold. Mercury retrograde conjuncts the sun at 0 degrees of Capricorn. The sun. Suggesting that there is a very powerful recalculation, reconsideration, reflection on whatever is coming up for us, especially as we move through the new moon into solstice. Okay, and it might not have come up yet, it might be coming up, but this is an introspective energy with a lot of power there. Not necessarily launching us forward, not necessarily launching us into a ton of energy, but definitely working with that energy, bringing us in. And then Mercury retrograde moves into Sagittarius. And this adventurous Sagittarius energy is now bringing in that reflective quality to it. This could be in the same house for you as the Capricorn energy, or it could be in a different house for you. So you might be working with two parts of your life and psyche and body. And it keeps moving backwards, and it's retrograde. And what do you know? It's going to conjunct Mars, because Mars is in a new cycle with the sun. And Mars, we have been doing so much work with Mars and the sun. And Mercury is going to conjunct Mars on the 27th. Okay, so just after, if we celebrate Christmas, it's just after Christmas. And again, you know, we've done so much with Mars and the sun about finding this new evolution of our drive, of our energizing spirit. This energy is now in Sagittarius with Mars, and Mercury retrograde wants us to reflect on that energy that we put out in the world through our ideas, through our learning and teaching and writing and just making meaning. It doesn't matter if we're a published writer or we're an avid journaler. This is about how we make meaning. It doesn't matter if we're a formal teacher or the way that we teach through the way that we hold ourselves in our lives and embody the way that we make sense of the world, which is what Sagittarius energy is all about and how it leads us on our spirited seeking journeys. The way that we embody Sagittarius energy in a very strong way, because this is Mars, wants to be reflected upon. And then Mercury keeps going retrograde, and it's going to station direct at 22 degrees. And what do you know? It's going to be squaring Neptune. Neptune, who is squaring our sun and our moon during this Sagittarius new moon. And so this Neptune energy, we are working with it. We're working with it for a while, and that is going to be on January 2nd. That Mercury will station direct. So right as we come into the new year, Mercury goes direct, and then we move forward. So this new moon is really, and we'll have that energy. We will talk about the Cancer full moon, which is going to close out this year of 2023. But this new moon is holding this kind of beautiful paradoxical energy that is a new beginning. It is here, it is Sagittarius, and within that new beginning, there's a reflection. There's a turning within. There's a closing out the new year by reflecting on what we want to bring forth into the world. Capricorn is how we bring things into the world, through our own thoughts and our own projects and our own communicating spirit. and how maybe we need to reflect on the alignment of ourselves to our spirituality. Because that is what Neptune and Sagittarius are going to be having this conversation about when Mercury is square them. And we're getting seeds of that with this new moon, because Neptune is squaring that sun and the moon, which is this energizing principle of the core of our ego and helping us to understand. And we really want to journal, pay attention to whatever insights are coming up, whatever visions we're even having of our own lives, of our own journeys, of what we're here to communicate, of how we're here to be these spiritual beings in these human forms. And then we're going to have some time going into the rest of December and into the new year to really reflect on how we are weaving our thoughts and our mind in a way that supports our soul's journey, because Neptune is always talking about our higher soul's journey, purpose, what it's here for. And yet when I use that word purpose, it's not a purpose that we can just make a list and check off our boxes, because Neptune doesn't work in that framework. It is felt, it is intuited, it is glimpsed in dreams, it is communicated through spirit and deep meditations and journeying forth. And these are practices, especially around the solstice this year, that we can lean into and see what we glimpse. Okay, so Mercury retrograde is not bad. It is actually taking us into a very soulful reflection. If you have any projects that you've been working on, this might be a restructuring of them or a revisiting of them. You might get insights into something that is going to just take it to the next level that you actually hadn't been thinking about. And that might come from a challenge, or that might come from something that you're not really super excited about. And yet, as we open up to what is presenting itself and we kind of respond to where we're co-creating with the energies that are showing up in our lives, there is a reflective journey coming to us that wants to show us something new that we can then take forward into the new season, which solstice opens us up to. And that also aligns with our 12-month calendar, which opens us up into 2024. Okay, with that, I send blessings to you, and I will see you next time. Take care.